Hi there and welcome to the January Fisheries feedback video. As ever, we will be having a report from the work of our fisheries team, from Del and Jim and all the volunteers. There'll be our monthly photographic competition and we'll be looking at fishing prospects for the month of February. So, Fisheries. Del, what's the team been up to this month, or this past month rather?
Well, yeah, apart from getting cold, we've been doing quite a bit at Ufton and Moatlands. I think we spoke last month about some of the lads getting up and cutting a path to facilitate this work party, which we done last weekend actually. We had, I think it was 7 guys on Ufton, and we had that many people turned up. We had a plan B, which is always useful, of going over to Moatlands. So we had 7 on Ufton, and I think we had 6 on Moatlands. And they all cracked on, had a good day. Yeah, great. Got some opened up Ufton, so we've got just a little bit of work left there to do. But you know, that'll see us for the next couple of years up there. We won't have to do a great deal. And you know, Moatlands is a work in progress. From what I can gather, I wasn't there. I was at Ufton. From what I can gather, that you know, 2 sides of the lake are done, and we just got one more side to do. So yeah, that's been pretty good. So
well, I was at the Moatlands work party. It was hard work, but with Jim's help, we cut a huge path through. Really starting to tidy the place up and improving the access, and of course the Ufton work was on the north bank, so there's a lot of swims now opened up there. You'd recommend people try that before the end of the season?
Oh yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, it's the best kept secret on Redden District, to be honest. And you know, as I said last month, it's not an easy walk. You know, if you're not too sort of steady on your feet, you know, don't bother. But if you're capable of sort of walking sort of 250 yards over fairly rough ground, then you know, get yourself down there. It's well worth it. Well worth it.
No, well, we're pleased with that. And of course, the Friday Club's been up and running. And I noticed you've got us doing a fair bit of work landscaping around Wilmots, and as well as finishing off the work to Cottage Lane. So I've been very impressed by what the Friday Club guys have been doing.
Yeah, I mean, the Friday Club guys are proving to be invaluable. You know, I've always said that the sorts of fisheries that Wilmots and Callows are, not quite so much Brownlee, but certainly a certain, they have to be micromanaged. Mm-hmm. Somebody has to be here every day, and you know, to keep it up so that it's nice and it looks nice and the paths are clear, then it needs a regular service, if you like. And the Friday Club guys have, you know, been fantastic, really good.
We certainly moved a couple of tons of topsoil.
Yeah, exactly.
That's for sure. You had us working.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Well, you know, I'm the fat controller.
Well, you've got to earn that bacon roll, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
And talking of Wilmots, yeah, I understand you've given the water a new stocking.
Yeah. The plan was always with Wilmots is we're going to use it as a bit of a sort of growing on pond, if you like. So essentially, we'll put small fish in. We'll let anglers feed them up for us while they're having the pleasure of catching them, and then as they get bigger, we'll move them out into other waters. So later on, probably in the next couple of weeks actually, we'll be electro-fishing Wilmots, and we'll be taking some of the bigger fish out and moving them on. So to replace those bigger fish, we've stocked about 200 fish between £1.5 to £2. They went in 2 weeks ago. And the guys that fish the Tuesday Club have been very grateful for that, because they've had some fantastic weights. They've been getting 78,
yeah,
70,
John Berry 60. One, didn't he? With
Yeah, exactly.
Again.
They've been doing well. I mean, today, for instance, I think it was 50-something won it, and then there was, you know, a 20-something. You know, they're having some good days on there. So, you know, if you're, you know, planning on coming fishing, particularly in the winter, Wilmots and places like that, you know, are invaluable. But just because there's a lot of fish in there doesn't mean that you're going to catch in every peg. You've got to treat it exactly the same as any other water. You've got to find those feeding fish, because they'll be holed up this time of the year in a very small, you know, part of the lake. And if you're not in it, you'll sit there all day long without a bite. So, you know, treat it like a normal lake and look for the fish.
It's certainly turned into a cracking fishery. I mean, you've seen from our photo competitions, particularly young Leo Davey, he's posted some pictures of fantastically healthy young carp growing on, and those fish are going to be big when we move them on to Cottage Lane and the other venues. They're going to provide great sport for members.
That's right. I mean, they're 10, 15 years time, they'll be 40 pounders, you know. So, you know, and what's nice is you'll be able to plot their history, if you like. Everyone goes on, you know, particularly the carp guys, history fish and this, that and the other. Well, you'll be able to plot those histories, you know. You'll be able to pull photos up from Leo and, you know, Calvin Davis, he's had a couple, I think. You know, they'll be able to pick them up and say, oh, you know, this is that fish at £2 and there it is at 40, you know. So it's nice to have that sort of continuation.
Well, we look forward to that. And tell us about Wiley's. You've been doing some work down there as well.
Yeah, Wiley's.
We had a bit of a hold up, didn't we, with the
Yeah, I mean, Wiley's at the moment is a bit of a political hot potato. As I said last month, we got some issues with boundaries. And unbeknown to me, when we'd done a load of work there last year, I actually dumped all the sort of tree boughs on somebody else's land.
Oh, well done.
Yeah, exactly. And I thought I'd got away with it, but no, the landowner has asked us to get rid of them. So, and because of the way sort of tensions are at the moment, I had to go over there and spend a couple of days. So, unfortunately, what I've had to do is I've had to store these trees in our car park. So it's a bit tight at the moment. But you know, hopefully things will be resolved there pretty quickly, and we'll get them moved on. But yeah, you're going to have to bear with us a little bit with that.
Well, there's not too many people fishing Wiley's this time of year, that's for sure. And lastly, of course, exciting plans about the hatchery to increase coarse fish stocks in the Kennet. Tell us where you got to.
Well, as we said last month, we've hatched this plan. Excuse the pun. Yeah. And basically I've been squirreling away in the office, designing different bits and pieces. And it's funny how some things sort of just are meant to be. When we were stocking the fish into Wilmot's, VS Fisheries, which is Viv Shears, I was explaining to him what I was doing and this, that and the other, and we had a good chat about it. And lo and behold, 2 days later, he's phoned me up. He said, "Are you still after some hatchery gear?" La la la. I said, "Yeah." He said, "I tipped me at a wink on some that was going for sale up in Lincoln." I was actually going up to Lincoln that following day to see a mate of mine, so it all just fell in our laps, and we've managed to secure a lot of gear, more than we're likely to need, and we've got it for a really, really good price.
So we've saved the club many thousands of pounds.
I would say off the top of my head, I would say we've saved £10,000 at least. So, you know, we're now at the stage where we can design something. We're still yet to find a building for it. However, we have been promised a building. We're having a meeting, I think it's next month, with a particular landowner, and he's agreed to give us a building for nothing, no rent, because he's going to be part of the project with us. So yeah, things are all starting to fall in place, and I'm hoping by the end of this month we'll have some stuff pretty much set in concrete, and then we can get on and start building stuff. Yeah,
and we're also not shy to ask for advice, so it'd be worth letting people know we're going up to see the EA up at Calverton, you know, the premier fish farm facility in Europe, really, and so we're going to tap into their ability.
Yeah, exactly. Well. You know, I'm not proud enough to say that I know. You know, I don't know everything. I like to think I do sometimes, but I don't. And you know, it's been my mantra in life: if you don't know something, find somebody that does, and then pick their brains. And there's nobody finer than the head of the EA fish stocking programme. So, you know, we're going up there, and I feel quite privileged to be going up there because I know they don't let people in there lightly. So we'll be up there, and I'll be there with me pen and paper, and we'll be taking notes and photographs and God knows what else.
Well, it's great to have their support as well. Yeah. You know? I mean, it's exactly. If anyone queries why you buy a rod licence, you know, Calverton is a very good example of some of what we get back for our money.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, they have a bit of a rum deal, the Environment Agency, you know, and you know everyone's quite quick to point the finger that, you know, this is going on, that's going on, but all the really good stuff seems to be forgotten. And Calverton, every year for the last 5 years, they've been helping us put fish into the Kennet, and also the Fisheries guys on the ground have always. I've worked with them for 10, 15 years, you know, and they do some fantastic stuff. Yes. When you start getting up a little bit, when you get to the policy makers, things aren't how they should be, or in my opinion. But the guys on the ground, they're worth their weight, and Calverton is fantastic.
Yeah, well, we're looking forward to the trip, Dale. Right, well, thanks very much. That was a really comprehensive report back. Lots and lots of stuff happening, which I hope members find interesting. Let's take a look at our photo competition now.
Yeah. Right, and the winner this month, and it's not for trout, is Mick Deadman. He had a cracking start to the month, and I'm sick to death of seeing his baseball cap, really. So he needs to get a new baseball cap. So Mick, fantastic barbel, fantastic chub, really consistent. I think there's hardly a month goes by where he doesn't catch something and stick it up. So well done, Mick. Let us know what you want, as in carp gear, which I'm sure is fairly unlikely, or the coarse gear, and we'll get that sorted out for you down at the hut. And of course the hat, which we want to see you wearing in your photographs.
Well, I think that's a worthy winner, Del. I mean, Mick, what, 6'5" chub. He also had, I didn't feature it in the top 12 pictures there, but he also had a 14-pound barbel. But that picture of that 11-pounder from the Kennet at Burfield, what a lovely picture.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, this isn't a big fish competition. It's the smile on people's face, and he's absolutely beaming there. And when you think how many fish that Mick catches, you know, and every single one of them makes him smile like that, you know, full credit. Like I say, the only thing that lets it down is that scabby old hat he's wearing. But
not anymore.
Not anymore, no.
Well, and also, fair play to the members, because, I mean, the weather's been pretty rank during the month of January. But, I mean, look at some of these fish. I mean, the Gem Fox, beautiful pictures there. He had a 6-pound chub and a 10-pound barbel on the same afternoon. There's been some cracking perch coming out. I love the picture of Marius Dubček with those perch out of Longwater.
Yeah,
I mean they're beautiful fish.
They are absolutely, they're splendid. I mean, they really are. I think you'd struggle to find better pictures of perch than that. They're, you know, fantastic. And again, Marius, he always puts some fish up every month. You know, he's really consistent, and you know, he's very unlucky not to have won it this month. There's actually a few there that are unlucky.
Well, Neil Hedger will be another one. Neil always posts pictures of his pike fishing in the winter, and he's got some lovely fish.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
Thames and Kennet. And the other one that struck me was Dave Cowley on the match at Wallingford, and it's a 5'10" chub, but there's been some big old chub coming out of the Thames. I've had a few myself, as it happens.
Yeah, that's it. And, you know, I think this time of the year, you've got to pick your days. You know, it's absolutely no good going out on a bright, cold sort of day. You're going to struggle. But if you pick your days, you can have some fantastic fishing. And as I said last month, you ain't catching them at home. You know, you get out there. Yeah. You know, it's a bad day's fishing is always better than a good day at work. So, you know, get out there and get amongst them.
Well, thanks for that, Dale, and well done for everyone, and thanks for entering the photos. Please keep them coming. The members love to see them, we love to feature them in the video, and obviously each month the best fishing picture gets a unique Reading and District hat. Right, so fishery prospects for the month of February. Jim, before you give us your tips for the coming months, what about your own fishing? What sort of species do you target this time of year?
So this time of year, through the winter, again, as sort of the last prior month, is sort of the perch, pike and the barbel, sort of this time of year, and the chub as well. But this time of year, I like my sort of barbel fishing in the winter. You can always have the chance of a good whacking winter barbel. What I'll try and do is sort of pick a sort of milder evening to go. Most of the time I'm sort of turning up after work and things are sort of around 5, 6 o'clock and the light's sort of just fading away this time of year. So what I'll tend to do is I'll sort of walk straight away to the top of a venue I'm fishing and I'll sort of work my way back down, just trying 20 minutes in each spot and then working my way back to the car.
And what sort of baits?
This sort of time of year, anything smelly, big pieces of meat and things like that. As I tend not to use meat through the summer months because the crayfish, normally they're on it within a couple of minutes. But now, this sort of time of year, as the crayfish are sort of burrowed in their banks a bit, meat's a good option, definitely.
Excellent. And what about chub?
For chub fishing, I haven't done much this winter, but definitely I know of a few venues that are holding good chub. Lower Benyons is certainly one of them this year. There was a post on our Facebook page about a month or so ago, and one chap was down there trotting for the chub, and he had quite a good day's chub fishing down there. Also, Whistling Mill Stretch. I know there's been a few guys up there. I haven't actually heard much about it, but there always seems to be a few guys up there, so that says something in itself.
Yeah, and of course we know there's some big fish been coming out of the Thames as well.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, like yourself on the Thames, there's plenty of stretches we've got on the Thames that can all hold good chub, well into excess of 6, 7 pounds. So if you fancy a chub in the next month, the Thames, Kennet and Loddon is the place to be. And
the perch, they're on your hit list for this time of year. Where would you recommend members target for perch, Jim?
So this sort of month for perch, I'd say Longwater's definitely a good shout over there. Longwater, I found in the past, a lot of the fish in Longwater can be sort of concentrated in certain areas and things, so it might be worth going around with a lure rod first and just sort of having a few casts with a lure rod. If you pick up a perch or two in a certain area, it may be worth going back and sort of bait fishing for them. You can have a really good day. Also for perch, all of our Kennet and Avon Canal stretches hold good perch, but I'd say one of our best Kennet stretches for the perch is Ufton. Last season it done perch into well in excess of 4 pounds, so definitely a spot to go.
And finally, the other winter reliable species is pike. We talked before about the pike that are available in Sonning, in Farnham Flint, in Pinchwood. There's been some lovely pike posted, but I noticed this month we had people posting up pictures of pike in the Kennet.
Yeah.
Not many people target pike on that river, do they?
No. So yeah, a lot of it, I think the guys are sort of on the canals again. So guys are roving with lure rods. I was chatting with a couple of guys this week actually, and they had sort of, I think, 3 or 4 pike in a day between the two of them, and they were on one of our stretches of the canal. So definitely worth having a rove about on the canals for a few pike, and also find those sort of bigger slack areas. If you've got guys that are out there dead baiting and things like that, find those sort of big slacks on the bends, and there's always a pike.
This is on the main river, yeah?
Yeah, on the main river stretches. If you can find a sort of big slack along a bend somewhere, that's the sort of likely spot of pike will be lying up this time of year.
Well, thanks very much for the tips, Jim, and thanks for sharing some of your own fishing experiences. So to summarise, we're talking barbel on the mild evenings, we're talking chub, we're talking perch, we're talking pike, all of which we've got into substantial sizes on Reading waters.
Oh yes, definitely, for sure. Get out there and catch a few.
Thank you very much. Right, well, I hope you enjoyed that, and coming up on our YouTube channel will be our monthly tips. This time we're focusing on tactics for winter chub from our local rivers, from the Thames, from the Kennet, and of course from the Loddon. So look out for that, and make sure you subscribe to the Redden District YouTube channel so you get those early. We will post them up on Facebook, but YouTube subscribers get privileged facilities, so please subscribe to the channel and keep up to date with all the information we're putting out there. Have a great time in the month of February, and tight lines.